Rockets leading it by 5 with the Spurs calling a timeout. We can find out what is going on in the huddle because the Silver Stars are not far away from playing again, and we're glad to have Dan Hughes, the general manager, and once again head coach with us. You've probably already been looking at tape, haven't you, Coach?
I have. You know, that was maybe the first thing I did is I got our video guy and I said, you know what, I need to look at a lot of tape, but it's kind of familiar territory, Bill.
Well, we said congratulations, but I said to Sean, these guys just can't give it up. He says it's because you like being miserable.
You know, it's like being born right-handed. You just don't change it, you know, man. It's what you are, and it is what I am. So.
Well, good. That was going to answer my question, because my question was after announcing, being a general manager, coaching, I mean, why? I see these guys, they win games, Pop and his coaching staff, and at dinner, they're miserable. They're complaining.
And you know what? You stand in line to get those jobs because it's part of your life so much.
Yes.
And, you know, I mean, being a personality that doesn't have a lot of interest, you know, coaching has filled a lot of that in my life, and I got a feeling it's going to fill it for the rest of my life.
Well, you certainly know the league as well as anybody. You've been around. That year of not coaching, how do you figure that will help you now as you go back to the bench?
Well, you look at it differently. You know, you spend 32 years coaching, then you spend a year watching and being involved in other ways, and you find out, you know, a lot of the things that you miss, but you also find out the things you could have done better. Mm-hmm. You know, you look at it objectively. And a lot of coaches don't get, a lot of coaches who've coached a lot of years said that to me. You know, you're fortunate you had that because, you know, I wish I'd have had that. I think it would have been good for my career.
Is there any chance that you would invite an old, bitter forward back to try to beat up on the ladies one more time?
You have an absolute invitation. How about that right there, guys?
DeJuan Blair with the thundering dunk, and the Spurs bounce right back within one, 32-31. Blair's got a half dozen.
Now, Bill, I've told this story several times, but, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, Coach Hughes had me out there at training camp, and I was out there with a bunch of guys, and they just thought that they were going to run right through the Silver Stars, and boy, were we all in for a huge surprise. Because I'm going to tell you the reason why. Coach Hughes had them, they were so fundamentally sound. If you made any kind of mistake, which we made plenty of, then they capitalized, and they just wore us out. We had a group of guys, all that testosterone running around, and we had it shoved right down our throats. It was humiliating. You
know, Sean's very kind, but I'd tell you that act of Sean coming over and practicing with us, Bill, was probably at the beginning of what good moments we had to build in our community. I think people said, gosh, Sean came, he was with you guys? You guys must be okay.
Richard Jefferson hits the jumper, 36-33. That is a 2 as the Spurs are back within 3. Courtney Lee with the ball here, who had the last bucket for the Houston Rockets. Ginobili trying to hang with him. Now Patterson lost control, and that'll be Spurs basketball. Well, I know you love working with the organization. What do you pick up basketball-wise from the Spurs?
Oh, a lot.
Specifics, and how much do you deal with Pop and those guys?
Well, his assistants are wonderful because I kind of hang around before games and just grab hold of everything I have. But I've gotten so much from Pop just from watching. You know, the really good coaches, you know, it isn't like, every time I talk, I'm going to keep right on talking, you know?
That's right.
Because he keeps on playing well, but Pop is such a good coach, you can just study him. You know, and you get things from that study. And there's no question the reason I'm still coaching at 55 is because of being around people like Greg Popovich and his staff.
DeJuan learned that dunk from Sean, too. Is that
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I think you taught him well.
I tell you what, your ladies were definitely playing D like the Spurs. I'll tell you that much. They were helping each other out. They were cutting off the baseline. They weren't letting me through all the double teams. I was very impressed with the way the ladies were playing defense that day, that's for sure.
Timeout, Houston. McDyess getting the last bucket, and that one gives the Spurs the lead, 37-36. And how about DeJuan Blair?
DeJuan Blair, I told him, I've warned him, hey, big fella, don't try to tear the backboard down. We have another half to play, and DeJuan Blair is doing his best to tear the paint off of the rim.
Well, we got 3 weeks to get it fixed, though.
There you go.
Welcome back. Spurs lead it by 1 now, 37-36. We're visiting with Dan Hughes, the general manager, and once again, coach of the San Antonio Silver Stars. Bill Land and Sean Elliott, we've got him sandwiched in here. The Silver Stars got this Valentine's Day package that is quite a deal, including season tickets, 2 Rampage tickets, couple Spurs Nets tickets, SeaWorld day passes, Becky Hammond jersey, hat, more than you can imagine. $1,000 value is just $350. Call 444-5090 right now to be a part of that package as Patterson with the miss. Dan, before we let you go, fans always want to know, what about your players? Who's coming back that you know is coming back?
Well, you know, you start with Sophia Young, you start with Becky Hammond, which is a pretty good place to start. They've carried me for a lot of years, and they need to get ready about to carry me again. But you got Ruth Riley coming back. Michelle Snow is under contract. Ronika Hodges is under contract. We have the rights to Edwidge Lawson-Wade. They're going to be pretty active. Jane Appel made the U.S. basketball team, played in the World Championship. She's back. And we have the 6th draft pick, which is one of the higher ones we've had in a while. So, you know, we have a good nucleus, and we need a little work to be done with that nucleus.
Budger with a miss, and Blair with a rebound. Manu hit the 3 a moment ago. Spurs pushing again here. Lead it by 4. Before you take off, everybody also wants to know, first game is not that far away.
June 4th. Wow. Right here in the AT&T against Tulsa. We've got a home opener. And I'll tell you what, people need to be watching on the Silver Stars. I'm telling you, I'll come back if Blair slows down a little bit, because every time I talk to you, he's done.
You do that, all right?
But there's some really news. I want to, you TV people say tease, right?
Yeah.
I want to tease there's some stuff coming. So Silver Stars, be listening, and we're looking forward. June 4th, we open here with Tulsa, and got a lot of work to do, but we got some great people to do it. And I so appreciate spending time with you. I told my mom I'm going to be on the broadcast, and she said, "You're on with Bill and Sean?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom. Turn in your NBA package and watch. I'm on."
You don't care about your reputation. Thank you, Dan. It's always a pleasure. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, guys.
Tim